For those of you listening on the pod,
Welcome in hour two. Let's continue on here with potential picks in the fifth round for the Packers. Up next, we got Jacob Parrish in the 131 spot on our big board. Obviously, cornerback out of Kansas State. Jacob Parrish is a scrappy, competitive cornerback who plays bigger than his frame suggests. He's quick to react in zone coverage and has a nose for the ball, though his lack of top-end speed can leave him vulnerable against elite burners. His 2024 tape shows toughness and run support and a willingness to mix it up. A likely fifth-round talent, Parrish could give the Packers a feisty depth piece in the secondary with slot versatility. You go to the PFF grades, Jacob Parrish, according to PFF, 5'10", 198. You guys go check the card, the RAS card, to get the exact measurements. 2022, he was a 69. In 2023, jumped to a 69.9. And then in 2024, he jumped all the way up to a 74.7. And you can see here, he had 470 snaps out wide as a wide cornerback. And then he played in the slot 91 snaps, along with box snaps of 44. So when you take those two together, sometimes those box snaps should be slot snaps. They're just playing zone and playing off that slot receiver a bit. So I would probably couple those together and say 135 slot snaps and 470 out wide. A little bit of versatility there. But what do you boys think about Jacob Parrish here potentially in the fifth round?
Man, I don't mind him, the idea of it. It's just man, I don't know. Like you said, he's pretty steady Eddie. 69, 69.9, 74.4, or 74.7. He played 11 games, 12 games, 12 games. Like you talked about, almost every year he's predominantly out wide, but does have a little bit of a versatility part to him within the slot in the box, like you talked about. Run defense grade is very respectable at 71.4. Man coverage grade is a 64.8. The zone coverage grade is a 77.4. A little bit undersized for my liking, I guess, is what I'd say. And I don't know. I got in the fifth though. I'd totally be all about it. I really would. It's just it's finding where exactly he would be a fit. I'm just worried that he would kind of go into that hopper of our cornerbacks where it's Bullard, Hobbs, insert any other guy, that could possibly play that slot / outside role. I don't know. I feel like we would need, if we're going to get a cornerback in this draft, I want him to be more of this guy is definitely going to be in this position type guy. I don't want another tweener, if that makes sense.
No, that makes total sense. It does, man. And again, these are players that the Packers have already met with in some fashion. So they've shown some kind of interest in Jacob Parrish here, Tim. But I agree, man. You look at the measurables and everything, he doesn't jump off the page, but there is some consistency there with those PFF grades. You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't ever bad,
Yeah. And it doesn't seem like I can't find much on injury history with him either. So he's playing a lot of ball. He's available. It is interesting that the Packers did meet with him because he definitely does not meet the thresholds for the build at corner that they like. He's definitely shorter and a little leaner than, the Packers are usually interested in, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're not going to take a swing at him, especially if we don't go corner early and we're talking fifth round here. I don't know if he'd be like the first guy on my list, but he certainly wouldn't be the last guy on my list to take a flyer on. So I think there's a lot to like about him.
Yeah. And again, the reality is there's going to be players that are higher on our board that are probably available when we pick in the 120s, right? Like that's most likely going to happen. These are just players being realistic, going, all right, 20 spots above, 20 spots below. What do we have here, right? Moving along. Oh, here's the RAS card. I apologize. So he actually, Tim, as you said, he was a little too small for Green Bay's liking. I looked at 5'10", and I thought, no, for a later round pick, 198, he meets the threshold there. 5'10", he meets the threshold in terms of like Jair, I think was 5'10", but that wasn't his actual measurement, was it, Tim? He came in at 5'9". So you're right, man. That's a little short. Now, 191 pounds, though, 12 bench reps. Vertical jump looked good for a shorter dude, 37.5 inches, 10.09 broad jump. So his explosion's great. Elite composite speed grade there. Obviously, the tape appeared he could get beat deep. That might be more of a technical, lack of being able to handle a release package because his speed in terms of the 40-yard dash, a 4.35. Yeah.
So probably a technique thing with him, right? Getting his hips spun around and then he's out of the play. Yeah,
cooked. Yeah, and that 20-yard split looking good there to 2.55. So Jacob Parrish out of Kansas State, Packers got their eyes on him potentially somewhere around the 4th or 5th round. So, all right, moving along here, we got Kobe Bryant.
Kobe.
Look at that high step. Was you kidding me? You're looking at the quarterback right now, like you hate your life. You hate your life. I don't know about back here. What's this? What's going on right here? Can somebody help me?
Man, leave the sound guy alone.
Is that a guy? Okay, sorry. Kobe Bryant.
I'm just assuming. I don't know.
Here we go.
Kobe Bryant. Gosh.
Cornerback out of Kansas. Kobe Bryant is a rangy cornerback with good length and a flair for making plays on the ball. He's shown ball hawking ability in 2024 with a knack for jumping routes. Though he's still refining his technique and can get grabby downfield, Bryant's athleticism and instincts give him upside as a developmental prospect. Available in the 5th round, he could be a project worth grooming for Green Bay's defensive backfield. When you look at the PFF grades, boy, he is ascending. Yeah. The card on PFF shows 6'1", 175. Obviously, that's way too light for Green Bay's locking in terms of weight, but the height is nice. 2021, his PFF grade was a 64.6. Then he jumps to a 73 or 70.3. Then he jumps to a 77.9. Then he jumps all the way to an 80.9, right? So appreciate you putting that up there. He also had 60 snaps in the box and 42 in the slot, right? But the big thing I want you to key in on here, look at that run defense grade, boys.
That's incredible.
91.3. That's crazy. 4th best of all corners.
4th out of 803. I mean, I laugh just because it's like,
yes.
I don't know. It's like I want that. 6'1",
crazy, right? He's on the lighter side too. We just talked about him not
being
the biggest dude, and it's like apparently that's not a big deal, huh?
I just hope that as he like hit sticks people.
It immediately makes you think he's scrappy, right, Jacob?
I was just I was just gonna say, I hope that while he just hit sticks people, he just goes Kobe as he's hitting, like I want him on the team. I don't know where we would get him if it is in the 5th. That's cool. Like if he happens to slide that way, I want him on the team. He seems like he is just kind of more of like that old school, a little bit taller, a little bit bigger build cornerback that's not afraid to come in there and put his head down and make a tackle. Sign me up for that, dude. I'm cool with that.
Yep.
All right, so here is the RAS card. It's incomplete for whatever reason. So his height came in actually at 6 foot, and he did put on a little bit of weight. So he's 6 foot, 180 pounds. At 180, he needs to put on another 5 to 10 pounds to kind of meet that sweet spot for the Packers. The 6 foot checks out, though. That checks out just fine. The 40-yard dash of 4.53, right? You know what it kind of feels like with the run defense grade? You get him late in the draft. Let's say he's on the board in the 6th round. You snag him and work him in as a backup slot so he can help in the run fit. If for some reason a slot goes down, with that run defense grade, you ain't got to be too concerned with that 4.53 40-yard dash, and just put your nose in there and help with the run game. And who knows, man? You may draft him and try to convert him to safety, put some extra weight on him. You may go that route, but obviously the RAS didn't help him that much. 9 1/4 hand size, 31 1/4 arm length there as well. So it's funny, man. You look at this screen and go, hell yeah. You look at this screen and go, whoa, no. But again, you guys know how I feel about this, and I think I'm in the extreme minority. PFF, in my opinion, leans towards what does the tape show. They're not perfect. I'm going to say that. If you're saying you got to choose one, how did they do in the Underwear Olympics, or how do they look on tape? I'm going with the tape every time. I am. So,
yep.
Any other thoughts here, Tim, on Kobe Bryant before we move along, man?
Just reading a little bit more on some of the scouting reports from PFF. They talk about him having that attitude. He's got that, right? I guess we'll call it the Mamba mentality, right? Just like Kobe, likes to be physical, but he's a little undersized, right? And I saw the write up here. He's real comfortable hand fighting to disrupt receivers, which can get you in trouble, end up, either getting burned or getting penalized. So there's going to be certain attributes of his game that are going to have to change at the pro level for him to find success in the league. But, this is another one, like I'm not running towards him, but I'm not running away from him either. It all depends on how the board falls on draft day. Could we do better than Kobe? Sure. But we can do a lot worse too with some of these corners. So definitely see why he's on the radar.
Jacob, you good on Kobe?
Just one more thing. As Tim was talking about that, he talks about Draft Buzz says Kobe Bryant was a 3-star recruit who lettered in basketball, baseball, and track alongside of football, where he brought his athletic versatility to Lawrence, where he was in a prep school there. He had a nose for the football that was evident from the fact that he returned 5 out of 8 interceptions for touchdowns during his career there. Like, that to me just sounds more and more like, let's go, dude. Let's go. Bring him in.
And this sounds a lot like what we say, right? Like, oh, the RAS card looks kind of but right. Hey, this kid may be a football player, man.
Could be. King Tron with the super chat. Thank you so much, Tron. Appreciate you, buddy. Says Kalen King, baby. Kalen King. Thanks, boys. Go Pack, go. I'm a big fan of Kalen King, man. I hope he gets some significant playing time this year, or at least worked into the rotation a bit. I'm also big on Carrington now, man. Carrington Valentine won me over last year, man.
Oh, yeah.
There's nobody giving him enough credit. And everybody will act surprised if he takes another step this year. I'm not going to be surprised at all if we look up and he's grading out in the mid-70s. I'm just telling you, that's the type of tape he put together. Playing that zone, keeping his eyes in the backfield, breaking off of his coverage to intercept balls in the end zone. And there was twice that he took the ball away in the red zone from offenses. I think there's something there now. And you guys know his rookie year, I was hard on him. I was like, yep, Valentine's probably not going to translate over to the NFL. And then, boy, he shut me up last year. I think that's really going under the radar. I really do. All right, next on the list, Tyler Barron, defensive end out of Miami. And again, Tron, thank you for that super chat, bro. We appreciate you. Tyler Barron's a high-effort edge rusher with a solid blend of power and quickness off the edge. He's flashy pass rush potential. He's flashed pass rush potential in 2024 using his hands effectively. Though he lacks the elite bend to consistently win around the corner, Barron's motor and strength make him a contributor against the run as well. As a fifth-round prospect, he could provide the Packers with rotational depth and special teams value on the defensive line. When you look at the PFF grades, boy, 60.1, 72.9, increases to a 73.7, then jumps up to a 78.5, and then in 2024, he took a slight step back to 76.1. But 4 straight years, grading out into the mid to upper 70s. That's pretty darn stout. And look at the pass rush grade, boys, 84.4 with a run defense grade of 76.7. The PFF card here, Jacob, says 6'5", 260. We'll see what the RAS card says in a second. But boy, oh boy, that looks like that might be a late rounder. If he does use his hands well, like they're saying, that might be a guy.
Yeah. The whole Miami edge department is a little bit interesting as you get deeper into the draft between Tyler Barron and I believe it's Elijah Austin or something, or Alston, something like that. But Barron, I mean, you talk about, he's the definition of steady Eddie, man. He comes in there, he plays 13 games. He's got decent sack totals in 2024. He had 10 hits. He had 28 hurries. To be honest, I'm a little bit surprised he graded, I don't want to say as low as he did, but it's a 76.1. It's a respectable grade. But I mean, you look around, his pass rush grade was an 84.4. Like you talked about, a run defense grade of 76.7. The true pass set pass rush grade was a 90. And he has an 18.7 pass rush win rate. Oh, and that all goes along with a 9% run stop rate. I mean, the guy, his stats are exceedingly I'd say superior than what his grade actually reflects there. You saw in 2023 he had the best year of his grades was a 78.5. I would argue that 2024 he should have gotten a better grade than that. I don't know. I'm gonna have to write the PFF guys and ask what the heck's going on there. But
let us know what
size is there. I like it a lot. I'd love that pick in round 5. Absolutely.
What about you, Tim?
He's a Knoxville guy, man. It's a Tennessee kid.
Oh,
is it really?
Ensworth High School in Nashville, and then he transferred to Knoxville Catholic High School.
Oh, Knoxville Catholic. Hey, they got that big shamrock on the helmet, boy.
Yep.
Mimicking my Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Woo. Go ahead, Tim.
Absolutely.
That's out in West Knoxville. Now, listen, they are some yuppies out there. I'm just going to say there's some higher class people out there, but they can play football. Go ahead. Sorry.
Vanderbilt.
He, again, looking at the RAS card, right, you see a little bit of red there, but I don't think anything to be wildly concerned about, especially things like weight. Again, I'll take him to Kroll's. He can get Butterburgers on me. We'll thicken him up a little bit. And I think for, like we're talking 5th round value here, if we don't go edge early, if we're looking to fill, this is a definite rotation guy. This is a depth pick here, right? This guy's probably not going to run out onto the field and steal a starting job. Although if he did, that would be incredible because that picks up everybody else in that locker room, then makes them step their game up. So I like Tyler Barron. Not in love, but I definitely like him for sure.
Yeah. It may be one of those late round guys, man. 6'4" is what he weight or measured in at. His weight was 258. You can get him to 265 easy, no problem. Bench press a little bit concerning with only 19 reps, but the vertical jump 35.5 inches and the broad jump of 10.01 shows he's got the explosion, right? 40-yard dash, if I'm reading that correctly, a 4.62. Like, wow. That is really impressive with a 20-yard split of 2.69 and a 10-yard split of 1.61. So his composite speed grade is actually elite. Look at the arm length, over 33 inches, 33.13. That now, obviously, the composite agility grade says okay, but it's in the red there with a 4.71 grade off the shuttle and a 4.83 grade off the three cone. But the fact that they said he uses his hands well, he's got the quickness, he's got the arm length, that this might be a guy to keep an eye on, boys. He may go a little earlier than the 5th round. I'm just saying, like, RAS checks out 8+. We talk about Goody likes those guys, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you never know, man. And he does kind of feel like he's somewhat ascending, although the PFF grades suggest he took a slight step back last year. Been pretty consistent across the board. All right, let's move it along here. Next, we got Jordan Phillips, big defensive tackle out of Texas. It says Texas. That's wrong. He's from Maryland.
Incorrect. Maryland.
We'll get that edited. We'll make a note here. Sometimes I get a little – I put these together so quick. I usually put the schools in too, so that's on me. We can't blame AI for that one. So let's go Jordan Phillips. Give me just a second. And we'll go school. All right. The beautiful thing about these two, they're almost like living documents. So whenever new information comes in, I can always go back and edit these. So like when we get into our training camp previews and everything, we're going to have a running depth chart that's going to constantly be changing, which is going to be really cool. So 176 on our board, Jordan Phillips, defensive tackle out of Maryland. Jordan Phillips is a stout defensive tackle with a low pad level and a strong base to clog running lanes. He's a space eater who holds his own against double teams, though his pass rush production remains limited, relying on bull rush than finesse. His 2024 season showed incremental growth in technique, likely a late round pick. Phillips could offer Green Bay a developmental nose tackle to bolster their defensive front. When you look at the PFF grades here, Jacob, we got a 57.2 on minimal snaps in 2022. Then in 2023, he jumps to a 71.8. 2024, he stays put at a 71.4. Run defense grade 68.6, pass rush grade is 72.7 with the overall defensive grade of 71.4. What do you think about Jordan Phillips here?
Man, he's a little bit interesting. I don't quite know if it's for the reasons that I would enjoy in 2022. Like you said, he only played 3 games. I don't know if that's injury related or just not being able to see the field. 2023, he played 13.
He was a red shirt in 22.
Yep. Okay, thank you. What scares me a little bit would be the fact that he has 0 sacks his entire college career. He has 7 hits and 19 hurries his whole college career. But necessarily, if you're plugging him in as a nose tackle, you're not really looking for a guy that's going to be sitting there being, JJ Watt or whatever. He played predominantly in the A gap in college. I shouldn't say predominantly. He played the bulk of his snaps in college. In 2023, played 224 snaps versus B gap at 187. In 2024, he played 283 versus 243 in the B gap. He actually graded up decent as far as his pass rush win rate is at 11% for being a big boy in the middle. That's not bad at all. Pass rush grade is 72.7, run defense grade is 68.6. I would be okay with us taking a flyer on him in the 5th for sure. I think that the 5th is the earliest I'd go on a guy like Jordan Phillips.
Got it. And Tim, it says here, Braden Fielding in the chat. Appreciate you, buddy. He says he's on my list. Phillips has the wrestling background too, so we threw the wrestling emoji up there. Thank you for that info. Tim, what do you think about Jordan Phillips here, man? We'll go ahead and pull the RAS card for you here as well, man.
Thick.
A 6'7" here. So here's what's crazy. The RAS card was saying 6'3", right? The PFF card was saying 6'3". The RAS card is saying 6'1", 312 pounds. 29 bench reps, though, pretty solid there. Vertical of 31 inches. What do you think, man?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's basically, a bona fide nose. That's his strength, it seems like, just looking at the tail of the tape on him. But I agree with Jacob, man. I mean, I'd take a flyer on this guy in the 5th for sure. Here we go. D-line again, trenches. I'm all for it. I don't care if they draft 7 defensive players in this draft. I'll be happy, even if we don't get my boy Jaden Higgins or something. But Jordan Phillips, no, I do. I like him. I haven't watched enough tape on him yet. He's on my list of the last of these defensive guys for film study. But, man, PFF is, like, really high on him. They have him at 80 right now on their big board. Yep.
Let's see where he was at the end of the year. Here's what's crazy, Tim. At the end of the college football season, the PFF big board had him at 246.
Wow.
The consensus big board had him at 273. Kyle Krabs has him at 78. Dane Brugler had him at 73.
Okay.
And he was outside of Daniel Jeremiah's top 50, obviously. So, again, the main thing that brings him down is everything. Other than
the main thing that brings him down is everything.
Other than Kyle Krabs and Dane Brugler. And this is why I like our board, because when you look at someone like this, you go, okay, if you remove those 3 guys, and don't get me wrong, Daniel Jeremiah, Dane Brugler, and Kyle Krabs have a big impact on our board at the end of the day. If you remove those, he drops probably another 40 spots, man.
Yep.
The thing that brings him down is that who he is.
It's what he done. It's who he is, and what he probably will be. Everything. So,
we're gonna give him some.
The Packers surprise us on draft night, take him in the 3rd round. He ends up being a damn stud. It'd be absolutely awesome. Let's see here. Mike Ebring with the super chat. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. He says, my top pass rushing defensive tackle is Omar Norman. There's a lot of people like him, man. I remember when we had that graphic. Remember we had I can't remember exactly what was it, Tim. Was it the pass rush opportunities or I can't remember what it was. It was one of those where you had the vertical on the left, the horizontal on the right. And he was in the upper right big time.
Yep.
We're not quite as big on Omar Norman Lott on our board, I don't believe. Let me see if I can find him real quick. What do you guys think about Norman Lott? Does anything come to mind right offhand? Or
I mean, like Mike said, the dude's got at what I would consider a D tackle. I think he predominantly played. Yeah, he did play some A gap, but he's predominantly a B gap guy. 18.9 pass rush win rate. So he definitely has.
So why did he score so low on his PFF grade, Jake? His PFF grade, I'm showing. I may have
69.4. Yeah.
It's crazy.
That is interesting because he has a pass rush grade of 81.6, run defense grade, nothing to, 68.1. The true pass rush grade of 88.3. He's got a run stop grade of 6%. I mean,
there's got to be something pulling it down, right? Because the PFF big board at the end of the year had him in the 50 spot. But
he wins primarily with athleticism and some surprising flexibility and agility, but his game lacks proper technique. That's what I'm seeing on PFF right now. Yeah.
The tape may be a little dicey there. But Omar Norman Lott, man, I wouldn't be surprised. We got him in the 123 spot. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes in the 2nd or 3rd round. Wouldn't surprise me at all, man.
61 on PFF's board right now. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate the super chat, Mike. Thank you, man. We'll keep an eye on him and see if anything changes on our board moving forward for sure. So wrapping this little article up, all 6 players bring traits that could address depth needs for Green Bay, and their meetings with the Packers suggest they're on the team's radar. Which do you like the most of these 6? Let us know in our favorite draft prospects chat here on Patreon. So again, appreciate everybody contributing there to Patreon. You guys talk for just a second amongst yourselves. I'm going to edit this article before I forget, because believe me, I will forget.
Well, let's answer that question ourselves, Jacob. Out of these guys we just broke down, who's your favorite on this list?
I think I'd have to say Kobe, just because of the possibility of, like, he just, to me, seems like he could be a gem, one of those diamonds in the rough type guys where it's like, how come nobody had him up higher on his board, and the aggressiveness that he seems like he plays with. Again, I think it's just like we've talked about. One of the things he doesn't control is he's a little bit undersized. But if we are able to pack on maybe 5-10 pounds, a guy that's that willing to play the run fit, that is that good at what he does as a cornerback, I just think, that to me is I really don't think he's going to last till the 5th, to be honest. But if for some reason he did, I'd be skipping that card up. I'd be like Leo DiCaprio in that meme,
Yeah.
when he's.
Well, you stole my answer because that was my answer.
Sorry,
for
buddy.
sure. I like Kobe the most, and then I guess I'd probably have to go with Tyler Barron as my.
That's a good one too.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this, man. Let's switch gears. I'm going to save the what to do in Green Bay on draft weekend for tomorrow. Okay, so we'll keep that in the hopper. But let's talk about Chad Reuter and his latest mock draft real quick, and then we'll do our Javon Bullard autograph card giveaway. It's one of the perks of being in the Patreon group as well, guys, is we're going to give away autograph memorabilia, really cool items throughout the year. We probably be doing a giveaway for the next 4 straight weeks every Saturday. This week it's an autograph rookie Javon Bullard card. So make sure if you want to get yourself entered into the next giveaway, you're a member there on Patreon. But Chad Reuter of NFL.com, here was his latest mock draft, all right? Let's just dive into it. With the first pick, he has the Tennessee Titans taking Cam Ward. With the second pick, Travis Hunter going to Cleveland. Obviously, cornerback / wide receiver out of Colorado. With the third pick, the Giants are going to take Shedeur Sanders, quarterback out of Colorado. With the fourth pick, the Patriots take edge defender Abdul Carter, and rounding out the top 5, Mason Graham, defensive lineman from Michigan, going to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Does anything catch you guys off guard there in that top 5? In terms of this mock draft from Chad Reuter of NFL.com.
Poor Shadir, you are a giant.
I was gonna say, yeah, or the fact that the Browns just are content with never having a quarterback and the rest of their history. But
Yeah, and it's funny too. Todd McShay actually put a tweet out earlier. I had a note here to mention it. If I had to sum things up in just a couple of sentences talking about the Colorado Pro Day, 0 bearing on where Shedeur is drafted, but I was expecting more of a shut the F up about my arm strength showcase today. So it sounds like he didn't really show that arm off that much in terms of the arm strength, because that's a big knock on him. It's like 90% of their offense was screen passes, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's important not to be a box score dweller or a PFF grade dweller, because it's like until you watch the tape and see exactly what kind of throws, what kind of plays there were, you look at his completion percentage, go, damn, that's through the roof. Yeah, he was throwing it 3 yards. So
let me pose a question to you guys real quick. If Shedeur Sanders' daddy ain't Dion, are we talking about him anywhere near the same level that he's at right now?
I think he's still a first-round pick.
Yeah, I don't think we would be talking about him, but not because it's his daddy. It's because his daddy got him the opportunity. Now, I think he's maximized that opportunity. If that makes sense. I don't know if he would have ever ended up at Colorado and had all that limelight on them for scouts to see, hey, this Shedeur Sanders kid's a real deal. I could see it being something that, him being in another school, a little less out of the limelight. So, yeah, again, I don't think he's ranked that high because Dion's his dad. But I do think he's ranked that high because he's been showcased so much because Dion's his dad, if that makes sense. I think he's done it on the field, but like Greg Cosell says, man, you got to really sit back and go, okay, boys, you can't throw screen passes every play in the NFL. You better be able to drive the ball down the field. And that's what Todd McShay was saying. He said the other thing he learned today, too, it was a nice reminder 3 weeks out that Travis Hunter is just in a different class of athlete than everybody in all caps else. More here. And he's got an article on it. So he's saying Travis Hunter is
the number 1 prospect
up here when it comes to athleticism to everyone else. So, all right, let's go in from picks 6 through 10. We got – go ahead, Jacob. You got something, man?
No, I hate sounding like a, whatever kind of guy, but I watched Travis Hunter run his wide receiver routes, and I was just like, okay. It didn't impress me really at all. Like, he looked very over dramatic with his movements. When I watched it, I was like, this almost looks like a Key and Peele skit. Like, it was kind of almost too much.
So in other words, we know why he's going into the draft as a corner then.
Yeah.
But also, boy, I bet many of those DBs last year with the numbers he put up felt like they were in the Keenan Pill spit.
That's true.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, my God.
Do we trade up for him and just go get him? Then we get a corner and a receiver, 2-for-1 deal, Clay.
There you go.
Look at
sir. No, sir. Let's see here. Hardy the Prophet with a super chat. Thank you, buddy. Valentine's success equals Jeff Hafley, DB Whisper. I agree. I think you give him some top corner talent. That's what sucks about Ja is like, he'll just hang around for a minute, Ja, and kind of get out of your own way. I think Hafley may be able to pull the best out of him. I think we started to see it a little bit last year, but obviously the injuries caught up. So, all right, we'll go rapid fire here. Number 6, we got Ashton Gianti running back out of Boise State, going to the Raiders. Numbers, I like that pick for the Raiders.
The Raiders.
Ashton Gianti would look absolutely sick in that silver and black, man.
That's Gruden's buddy too.
Yeah,
remember he put Gruden up on some of the music the kids listen to nowadays.
started watching tape to it. That was awesome video. Number 7, look at this, boys. Surprise, surprise. We talked about it all off season, and now all of a sudden, closing in on the draft, Jackson Dart, 7th to the New York Jets out of Ole Miss. Number 8, tight end Tyler Warren out of Penn State going to the Carolina Panthers. Number 9, Jalen Walker, edge defender out of Georgia going to the Saints. And then at number 10, boy, I hate it. And Emilio's going to hate it too, but the Chicago Bears get a stud in Armand Membo, offensive tackle out of Missouri. So,
so far, T-Mac's not off the board yet, is he? Oh, there he is.
There he goes.
There he is. Never mind.
In the 11th spot, the 49ers take offensive tackle Will Campbell. 12, the Cowboys take Tet McMillan. That's a Cowboys pick right there. I can see the star on Tet McMillan's helmet for sure, man. Number 13, Kelvin Banks, offensive tackle out of Texas, goes to the Cardinals. 14, the Colts snag Jahad Campbell, linebacker out of Alabama. 15, Will Johnson falls all the way to 15, cornerback out of Michigan. He goes to the Atlanta Falcons. And then breaking our heart with the 16th pick, the Dolphins take Jahdae Barron, cornerback out of Texas. Shamar Stewart goes number 17 to the Bengals. Emeka Egbuka goes number 18 to the Seattle.
We trade up for Michael Williams?
And the Packers trade up for Michael Williams out of Georgia, number 19.
You know, likey that, Jan.
Nah.
I know this, boys.
And it's not about Williams. It's about the moving up. I don't know.
We will have a much different reaction on the live stream in Green Bay than the people standing next to the stage if they say, there has been a trade. The Green Bay Packers are on the clock. That place will go nuts. And they'll go, we're getting a wide receiver.
Yeah.
And then it's Michael Williams. I love it. So I guess neither of you guys like that pick, right? At 19. Just trading up, right?
It's trading up for Michael Williams. I have it hard to believe that he wouldn't not be there at 23. I mean,
we got him in the 22 spot. So our board suggests if you want him, you're going to have to at least trade up 2 picks.
Does he have the emojis?
He's got the Packers
got a top 30 visit, right?
The Packers met with him and they did a top 30 visit.
Okay.
So they met with him through the process and a top 30 visit. PFF had him 302 at his position. Then in 23, he jumped all the way to 105. In 24, he somewhat stabilized. It fell back a little bit to 114. The PFF big board at the end of the college football season, as the smoke cleared at the end of the season, PFF big board said he was the 17th best prospect, which lines up with the Packers taking him here at 19 on a trade up. The consensus big board had Michael Williams in the 11th spot. Daniel Jeremiah has him as the 16th best prospect. Kyle Krabs has him as the 15th best prospect. And Dane Brugler has him as the 16th best prospect. So everything checks out across the board other than the PFF grade. Everything. So.
Well, those don't make sense half the time anyway. So
I can't. Yeah, I'm with you on that, man.
So he is a Georgia guy. It does make sense, doesn't it?
It does. Jacob sounds so defeated. So let's round this out real quick. At 20, Colston Loveland goes to the Broncos. 21, Omarion Hampton goes to the Steelers. Donovan Ezaraku goes 22 to the Chargers. 23 is Nick Emenwore to the Bucks. 24, Ariante Ursary out of Minnesota, offensive tackle, goes to the Chiefs. 25th, Derek Harmon to the Texans. So we could have gotten him at 23. Walter Nolan
Eagles.
26 to the Eagles. So this Greg Cosell said Walter Nolan is the Jalen Carter of this draft. And he's going to go to the team that already has Jalen Carter. Imagine that.
Shocking.
And then we'll all be surprised that they're playing in the Super Bowl again. Matthew Golden goes number 27 to the Bills. Jonah Savaiinaea, interior offensive lineman from Arizona, goes number 28 to the Lions, and it's tagged as rare there. So that's very rare that Jonah Savaiinaea is mocked to the Lions at 28. Mike Green falls all the way to 29th to the Washington Commanders. Malachi Stark, safety out of Georgia, goes 30 to the Ravens. Azare Thomas goes 31 to the Vikings. And as we mentioned earlier, wide receiver out of Texas, Isaiah Bond, Matthew Golden's teammate, goes 32 to the Rams. And that is considered rare here on this. So the top players not included in the first round, look at this. Kenneth Grant, James Pierce Jr.
Those are two shockers right there.
Josh Simmons, Tyler Booker, and Gray Zabel. So basically, rather than trade up to get Michael Williams, we probably could have traded back, picked up an extra third, and got Kenneth Grant or James Pierce.
Or James Pierce, yep.
Or Josh Simmons. I'd be okay with that.
Or stuck in pick and took Walter Nolan.
Yeah, Josh Simmons on our board is actually in the 24 spot. So if you trade back and take him, I'd have no problem with that either. So very, very, very interesting there. I see people were saying that's kind of high for Ursary is what Prince said. Let's see where we got Ursary, because at one point we were real high on him, and I feel like you're right. He has dropped since then. Where are you at, Ursary? Please don't make me search. I'm going to have to search. This ain't good. Let's see here.
I'm definitely surprised by the fact that Kenneth Grant and James Pierce wouldn't have been picked there. Even some of the guys that were picked, I don't know. I'd go as Gray Zabel over Ursary personally.
Yeah, we got Ursary in the 44 spot, so we agree, Prince. Yeah, it's definitely high for Ursary.
Can you scroll back up? Where did Ezraku end up?
I don't think he ended up anywhere.
I thought he got
picked. Yeah, he got drafted. He got drafted.
22.
22. Okay,
that makes sense actually.
All right.
So that would have been one pick before we picked, right? So.
Yep.
It looks like, too, that the Vikings were to trade back, which kind of makes sense because I believe they have limited draft picks this year. I keep seeing – I was going to say I think they have 4 picks. I keep seeing them getting mocked. Nick Emuari. I think that's a really good pick for the Vikings with Harrison Smith. Just absolutely – I don't know how Harrison Smith is still alive. I mean, the guy's just year in and year out just keeps trotting out there and doing good football. But, yeah, man, the Derek Harmon and Walter Nolan duo going 25 and 26, to me, that seems crazy.
Yeah, and Nick Emenware is in the 32 spot on our board, and it was wild because we've got Malachi Starks higher than him.
Yeah,
but Greg Cosell basically said Nick Emenware is the best safety in this draft, in his opinion. So what he said about Walter Nolan being better than Mason Graham, he's basically saying Nick Emenware is better than Starks. So
and Starks went what 30th?
He went. Where did Malachi Starks go? I know he went. Yeah, 30th to the Ravens. That'll be a good pick.
That's a
They'll
good
put him right back there with Kyle Hamilton, won't they? And they'll just be studs. That's what will happen. So, all right. Prince in the chat says Chad Reuter had Pierce not going until 60. Boy, if we could get James Pierce Jr. at 54, that would be absolutely awesome. Sign me up. So, all right. We got to move it along, boys. We ran out of time. It snuck up on us. This is a fun episode, though. Let's do a giveaway. Y'all want to do that?
Yes.
All right, here we go.
Somebody hooked up, man.
So,
Pinky wheel.
An autographed Javon Bullard card here. It's a Larry McCarron Pinky wheel.
Yeah.
And again, if you want to get yourself entered into these giveaways, we're going to be doing one every week this month. Make sure that you are just a member of the Patreon group or a member on YouTube. I prefer the Patreon group because you're going to get a lot more bang for your $3 buck in there. Get all access to everything on our site. But yeah, so here are the entries. We got 123. Somebody in the chat, give me a number as quick as possible so we can shuffle this thing. So I don't get accused by Holmes MD1 for it being rigged. And in the meantime, use Instacart, sponsor the show. Okay.
Do 20 for Bullard's number. Get up 20 times. Let's go.
Yep. Tim, they will say in the chat that you told me to say 20 beforehand and we rigged it. So someone, Deadfish says 6. All right, here we go.
That'll work.
Shuffle it 6 times, boys. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now in the chat, they're going to say, Deadfish is your uncle. You talked to him before the show. All right, here we go. We're going to spin it. Whoever it lands on will be the first place winner. If we don't hear from them, we're going to spin it 2 more times. That we'll have backup winners as well. 11 to 2. I'm too drunk to taste that chicken there, Prince. Here we go. And the winner of the autographed rookie card,
big money,
Bullard is. It was almost Jazambi who donated the cards. That would have been hilarious.
We don't want it. Give it back.
All right, so the winner is Jake G126. Congratulations, sir. Jake G126. All right, we're going to spin it 2 more times in case JG126 is in the clink. Here we go. Second place winner will be
I'm Smitty.
Oh, it's close.
Oh,
Gary
no.
Weiss Corbley. Good stuff. Gary Weiss Corbley, one of the newest members of our Patreon group, by the way. And I think one of the things you can do in Patreon too, you can choose to be, a little extra generous. I think she's a $5 member. No extra perks. It's just for people if they want to be, extra supporting of the show. So that's the second place winner. If we don't hear from Jake G126, the third place winner will be. Who's it going to be here, Tim?
Holmes. It's going to be the doctor. Let's see.
Jen.
It's Jen.
Oh,
Wright.
Jen Wright. There we go.
Look at the ladies taking over tonight. I like it. That's what I'm talking about.
Tell you
All
what.
right. So again, the first place winner. No offense, JG126. I'm just saying there was two. JG126 is the winner. If we don't hear from him, second place winner will be Jerry Weiss Corbley. If we don't hear from her, it'll be Jen Wright. That'll be the autographed Javon Bullock card. So next week we're going to be giving away an autographed Catan Oladapo rookie card.
What?
Ooh.
Okay,
Oh,
so
bad.
that'll be next. That'll be next week's giveaway. So, all right, boys, this was fun. This is a good episode. It's hard for me to close it out with this without
Aw.
trying to be serious here. I'm telling you, man. So, anything else you guys want to say before we wrap up? Man? Anything at all? This was fun.
Great giveaways. Appreciate you taking the time to do that, man. That's awesome. Congratulations.
Jazambi, man. Jazambi's the man.
Yep.
Thanks for that for sure. So,
Are we going to do a morning show tomorrow, Mr. Clayton?
I was not planning on it. I say no. I like what we're doing right now. I think we got us a good little. It gives me time throughout the day to let some information come in, put an article together, put together a little bit of a show. We'll get back to the morning shows again soon, but right now we'll just kind of hold off. If that's all right with you guys. It is nice sleeping in an extra 30 minutes. Man, he's like, you're sleeping in literally 30 minutes, Clayton. It's not, you have no idea what that 30 minutes does for this old man. I'm just telling you.
Mhm.
So.
Yeah, buddy.
All right, so tomorrow, go ahead, Jake.
No, tomorrow night I compiled a list of 5 guys that we could get in either the 5th to 7th round that I think we should take a peek at and just be aware of who they are. So yeah, if we have time.
Why don't you do me a favor, man? Why don't you text me over or in our private text or whatever, text me over that list if you can just list them all out.
You gotta unblock me, dude.
Yeah. Well, stop sending those pics, all right?
I can't, dude.
So if you send those over, what I'll do, I can block. I'll put that list together into the system, and we'll spit out a little scouting report on all of them. That'd be fun. So
Nice.
something like that. All right, everybody have a great night. This was a lot of fun. Appreciate you supporting the show. Hit like, hit subscribe. If you like the show, of course. If you didn't, just pretend like we never crossed paths. Make sure you check out the Patreon group. And yeah, everybody have a hey, easy now, easy. Y'all are unbelievable. See, we should have just ended the show, Tim.
That's terrible.
That's it. Now we're just going to end the show. Bye.
There we go.
Nice.
Bye, guys.